Hello, everyone. I'm Lori Wiggins, CEO of Byond. Welcome to today's webinar, Three Secrets to Scale Your Artificial Intelligence Business. And I have with me Hector Del Castillo, Chief Product Officer at Byond. How are you, Hector?
Hi, Lori. Doing great. Thank you. And it's a pleasure to be here today. Looking forward to it.
As am I. Before we get started, we have a few housekeeping rules. First, everyone is in listen-only mode for the webinar to ensure top audio quality for everybody. Also, if you can, thank you, yes. If you encounter any audio issues, please refresh your browser and check your audio settings. Submit your questions anytime via the chat, and we will address them either during the presentation or during the Q&A session afterwards. Finally, we're recording today's session, and we will share a link with you to the video after the live session. We are on Twitter and LinkedIn, and feel free to touch base with us there and check and see what interesting things we've posted. Byond MA, at Byond MA, at Lori J. Wiggins, and at HM Del Castillo. On LinkedIn, we are at bit.ly/ByondMNA. Finally, a special thanks to Scott Taylor, who is producing and editing our videos. Without further ado, Hector is going to provide our presentation today. Take it away, Hector.
Thank you so much, Lori. And hello, everyone. Welcome. It's a pleasure to be here today. And today's discussion is going to be focused for the following type of CEOs and founders. Those that want to scale their business, have a growth mindset culture within their organizations, and also the ones who want to build an enduring business. So this is what we're going to be doing today. Also, in this presentation, you will learn two different things. Number one, how to scale your business, or what it means to scale your business. In addition, we're also going to focus on what you can do today to begin the process of scaling your company. Does this sound like you? You've worked hard for years growing your business, and now you're wanting to go into really scaling the business, just being able to explode the growth in your business. You need to outpace the competition because all of a sudden now you're in a very crowded market and in industrial sector. Also, you're looking to increase the resilience of your business, and you want to position your company to either acquire other companies and be able to quickly scale your business. There's nothing for sale, and I want to clarify, our goal is to inform you and actually provide you value by learning the difference between growing a business and scaling your business. And we're going to talk about three secrets that will help you scale your business. So who are we, first of all? Well, Lori is CEO of Byond, and she has over 30 years of experience, and also has worked with technology companies. And now I'm looking why my screen is frozen, but anyway, we'll proceed. She has over 30 years of experience, as well as has worked with technology and software companies, and is looking now to help other CEOs also scale their businesses. And she loves to be able to help growth-minded CEOs. She also is a Virginia Tech graduate, and she loves to sing and travel with her husband and family. A little bit more about myself. I also have over 30 years of experience working with software and technology companies, and much like Lori, I also love to work with CEOs who want to scale their business. And I'm a graduate of UC Santa Barbara and also UT El Paso. And I also love to run, play soccer, and walk and I love the outdoors, so walking trails and also running roads as well as trails. So now that you know a little bit more about us, let's move on to the difference between growing a business and scaling a business. On the left-hand side here, you're actually looking at the growth of a business. And this is usually what happens when there's normal growth, right? Your annual revenues are increasing, but as you're capturing more customers and more clients, then you have to bring in more people. And usually that means that also your cost structures are also rising. And you may be growing your revenue, but you're not necessarily growing the profitability of your business. When you're scaling your business and you're focused on scaling, you're doing two different things. Number one, yes, you're growing your annual revenue, and also you're focusing on cost reduction without losing your value proposition, so that you can actually start capturing 30, 50 times more of the customer base, and you only have incremental cost structure increases. And therefore, not only are you increasing the revenue, but you're also increasing the profitability of your business. And so today we're going to talk about 3 secrets as to how you can actually scale your business, which means ultimately improving the profitability of your entire business. Let's take a look at what's happening right now in North America, US and Canada, for the AI industry. And this is basically what we actually have seen multiple market reports tracking what's going on. In 2020, this level of business today, the level of demand in US specifically, is already over $30 billion. And it's been rising very quickly in the last 3 years. As a matter of fact, the compound annual growth rate, the average compound growth rate, is almost 22%, projected to remain so for the next 5 years, all the way through 2025. And at that growth rate, we're already forecasting a little bit over $83 billion in business across all the sectors that are consuming AI platforms and solutions. So that's a pretty quick growth. Now you think, this is great, let's go for the growth. I want to be in this play. Well, the actual reality is that anyone that is a software publisher is in a great position to actually enter the AI market. And therefore, it's a very crowded market in the last 3 years because everybody's drawn by this high growth rate that is being projected. And there are some industrial sectors that are actually growing faster, growing the adoption of AI platforms faster than others. The top 3 in US are no different than what this is basically 2019, and what we saw was demand for AI globally. US is a mirror image of that, but just at a smaller scale, because it's actually the same sectors, but it actually in US only. So you'll see the largest sector is in manufacturing, and moving on, retail, and then financial services. A 4th closer one that is closer to retail is then also healthcare. And therefore, those are where the majority of emphasis you see. If you're actually targeting those type of businesses to actually provide them your AI platform and solutions and services, you're probably seeing a very crowded market, because there's a lot of organizations looking for solutions, but also a lot of competitors offering prospective solutions to the same players. And therefore, trying to maintain a unique value proposition is a challenge for you. Now, let's move on to talk about how to scale your business. And as I mentioned before, we're going to talk about 3 different ways that you can focus on, and you need to focus on all of these in parallel as you're moving on. We're going to talk about how is it that you can actually continue to build and boost your unique value proposition. And how easy is it to maintain a unique value proposition when you have more and more competitors year after year? Not so easy. So therefore, in order to maintain a competitive edge, you've got to keep that unique value proposition being a moving target, and continue to get better and better and better, and continue to build up that unique value proposition. And we're going to talk about 3 different ways that you can actually focus on boosting that unique value proposition. First of all, we're going to focus on customer value. And customer value has to do about looking at the desirability of your offering as perceived by your target customers. So you've got to really focus on understanding what is the perceived value and why is it that different sectors, even though they may be looking at the same offering, your offering, they may be perceiving different value propositions based on the way they use. So it has to do with use cases and functionality and features that you would include or add on to your offering in order to actually increase that perceived value proposition. And therefore, by doing that, you're able to actually manage and improve the customer journey and understand that very well, better than your direct competitors, in order to actually keep the desirability of your offering highest compared to anybody else in market. And you don't necessarily need to have a different offering. You just have to offer it different ways and then support it the right way as expected by your customers. And then finally, it's also about understanding what are the right distribution channels to have in place that will actually give you leadership in the marketplace. Whether you want to go after one industrial sector or multiple, often you have to look at very specific ways of increasing your distribution channels that give you access to more of the right type of customers that you're looking to sell into. And therefore, that's all about desirability. So that's secret number one. Secret number two, it's about looking at what is the visibility of your offering, of your entire business, and how do you keep on increasing that visibility? And this has to do with understanding what are the core business functions that add the most value to anyone that is collaborating with you, whether these are partners, suppliers, any of these that are sort of on the back end to in your operations, a back end because they're kind of like transparent to end customers, but they're the ones that actually can help you deliver quicker, pump up the volume when you need to, when there's a lot of demand, and then throttle back down when there's less demand, and then be able to predict reliably doing so. And often, especially when you have a lot of competitors, figuring out what are the key suppliers that you must convert into being your exclusive suppliers so that you prevent your competitors from accessing those same players, so that you can maintain your unique value proposition and your business position. And that is also a set of things that need to be done often, looking at what are the right strategic partners and the right exclusive suppliers that you must have to continue to maintain your unique value proposition. Secret number three, finally, is about looking at how do you boost your company value. And it's about measuring the viability of your business. This has to do with, number one, the people and the culture that you have within your business, and make sure that you have a growth-minded culture. Why a growth-minded culture? Simple. Three things that you need to actually be scalable. You need to have an adaptable organization. You have to have flexibility in the way those functions work together and the way people work together. And you also have to make sure that you take quick, decisive actions when things are changing in the market. These are all common denominators of why you need to have a growth-minded culture. And you also need to have inspired people. Well, why is it so important to inspire and motivate your workers? Number one, it's not about just productivity. It is already well known by experts, information studies that have been conducted, showing that companies that focus on inspiring continuously their employees, they also create loyal customers. And those loyal customers bring you additional customers over time once they know that you have the best experience no matter what you're offering compared to anybody else in the market. And so inspire workers and inspire people will create loyalty, and loyalty allows you to not only retain, but also then acquire new customers. And all these things will help you increase your customer lifetime value, which means that you not only are you retaining customers, you're getting those customers to buy more often and also increasing the average order size every time they rebuy or every time they come back and buy more. And all of that equates to higher shareholder lifetime value or ownership lifetime value. So your business valuation rises, and Very simple. The one key metric is profitability rises. So all of this inspiring people will help you not only capture more, but also cost reduce and still maintain your unique value proposition as high as possible as perceived by your prospects. So that's in a nutshell what we're talking about in the three secrets. And all of these are parallel swim lanes that you have to execute on. It's not just you have to execute on one or two or three. You have to have resources allocated to execute on all three at the same time when you're looking at scaling your business. And that means you have to allocate resources and the right tools, the right processes, the right funding across any of those three components to make sure that you're executing the right way and as quickly as you can. So let's look about what are the different ways that you can actually start scaling your business. There are two ways. There's the hard way, and the hard way is any combination of these three. It's about figuring out how do you become a business scaling growth expert, and maybe you and your C-suite, everybody who's part of your executive and management teams. It may also involve attending expensive seminars and conferences that are usually multiple days and often thousands or tens of thousands of dollars to attend. And it also may include hiring expensive consultants. The easy way. And the easy way is following our methodology and using our framework to scale and get the maximum growth from your business as quickly as possible. And more on this in a minute. So let's talk about what we have promised you today. Two things. Understanding clarity as to what it means to scale your company and how to get started. And number two, what to do today to make it happen. So how can we help you? Well, if you want to follow the easy way, number one, we can help you get clarity on any of these three things. Number one, how much work will it take to scale your business given what you have today and given your current situation? That means your current market, your current industry, your current prospects. Then we can help you also assess the readiness of your organization to scale. From culture to everything else that we talked about, we will make a thorough assessment of what you have and do a gap analysis to make sure that you understand exactly what you have and where you need help. And then finally, we can help you set up a process to then help your team understand what it takes and how to actually plan and execute activities that will allow you to actually scale your business and improve your organization's profitability. So if you're interested in that, you can set up an appointment, a free appointment to talk to us, and you can follow this particular short URL, bit.ly Byond APPT. And I believe Lori will be sharing that information via the chat. So you don't have to write it down. You can actually copy it and then just reach out to us by filling out the information. You can also, we're also offering a scaling workshop, and we're thinking about doing this in the next few weeks. If you're interested in being in our list to inform you as to when this is going to happen, give you dates and time slots where we're going to be doing this. This is going to be a live online workshop, few hours, that we will send you information. If you write to us and let us know that you're interested, we'll add you to our mailing list, and you can email us at solutions@byondma.com. And again, Lori is typing in this entire email address so that you can just copy it, and then you can write to us if you're interested in learning more and getting on our mailing list for this upcoming workshop. So with that, I would like to turn around, and I believe I'm done at this time, Lori. So I don't know if we have any questions where we can actually enter the Q&A. I don't know if we already have any questions in the chat.
Hector, thanks for that great presentation. We do have some questions. The first one is, COVID-19 doesn't seem to have slowed down either the AI market growth or the M&A activity for AI. Why is that?
Well, I think that it actually has accelerated efforts of adoption, actually, because right now, most everyone is furiously trying to accelerate digital transformation. And for many organizations, the hard part about digital transformation is that they actually need to improve their processes, but at the same time, adopt the best platforms available. And there is no one right solution today, right? Everything is going to be about based on what is the best fit that allows us to install it and begin setting it up as quickly as possible so that we can use it reliably. Two, number one, be able to keep your data integrity highest across anything that you're collecting on big data so you can do analytics, but also maintain the highest level of data quality possible. That is what you need to do in order to actually start executing and getting the benefits of digital transformation. Having said that, when you're looking at doing analytics on any data, today the struggle is that most organizations are generating so much data, and so the majority of that data is unstructured data, and that is not something that can be ingested by most analytics platforms today. Therefore, there's a lot of automation and a lot of platforms working furiously at figuring out how to do and add the AI to the way that you would increase your data integrity, your data management, and also automate and be able to get the highest data quality possible so you can actually start tracking the right metrics in real time, and you can start making decisions in real time. And that's where the majority of people are doing, is adopting not just the actual digital transformation platforms, but also being able to curate all their data, where the majority of data that's being collected today by most anyone is unstructured data, converting it to structured data in an automated way. And that may include the need for AI to be able to do the data management and maintain the highest data quality possible.
Thank you, Hector. Also, another question that we've had is, why is AI, this area, why is it so active with respect to mergers and acquisitions?
I really think that right now, as it goes back to what I said earlier, this high growth rate that has been projected, for the last 3 years, and it's just accelerating, right? It's been like this and then ramping up. So it's doing this hockey stick growth right now. Just the adoption of AI is highest. And this is not just North America, this is globally, right? So I think that has really attracted a lot of software publishers to come in and say, oh yeah, we have our own platform, and they're basically focusing on some of these high growth sectors that we talked about earlier, especially here in US. And that, I think, is really hard to maintain a unique value proposition. And the only way you can do that is by really focusing, right? As opposed to being a generalist, you need to be a specialist, and then just deepening the focus against a specific target, a specific industrial sector. And the more targeted, the more focused you are, the more successful you will be, especially when you know that that sector, there's a lot of players, and the more clear you are as to who are your ideal prospects, that's what's going to create that unique value proposition that you can completely understand better than anyone else, the right customer journey that is expected by your prospects. And I think that's what most organizations are challenged. And so what this is happening is, right now, many big companies, as opposed to organically doing this on their own and coming up with their own solutions, they've been actually acquiring a lot of these startups, because there's been a large volume of startups that have been now entering the market. And companies like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, all the big ones have been acquiring. And last year, it was a record year for acquisitions of AI startups. We're talking billions of dollars of deals. And the reason for that is, if you're tracking, there's no one solution. What most of these early strategic buyers, I would call them, are doing is they're actually picking and choosing multiple companies, because there's no one solution. They're actually acquiring multiple companies and then quickly integrating them to actually create a more complete solution that is what they need internally to be able to do all the things they need to do right. Digital transformation, data integrity, high data quality, so they can make better decisions about it very quickly. That is what's happening right now across pretty much all the sectors. And for example, in retail, we talked about how it's one of the fastest growing. Well, guess what? Walmart.com has been doing a lot of AI startup acquisitions, and it's multiple ones that they've done over the last 18 months. Why is that? Because they want to compete against Amazon, and then Amazon has been doing the same. And right now, that everybody's trying to take that collection of partial solutions to actually they can actually integrate them and make a complete solution that they need, so they can continue making the right decisions within their business.
Thank you, Hector. That was a very complete answer. And everyone, just before we end here, a word about our company. We help companies, lower mid-market technology and software companies, to scale, buy, and sell. And given our backgrounds, we definitely can help folks in all aspects of their business. Not only do we like to help, but we really like to make a lasting positive impact with those that we work with. And finally, here's how you can contact us. We would appreciate any feedback that you have on this webinar, and feel free to contact us to discuss any business issues or problems that you have. And with that, Hector, I'm going to say thank you for your presentation. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Stay well, stay safe, and see you next time.
Thank you so much, Lori. It was a pleasure. And thanks, everyone, for joining us. We hope to see you again sometime soon, and reach out to us. Thank you so much.